Hi everyone, I'm Han and today I'm here with Olympian Amanda Ross.
Hi, Han.
Thank you for having us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now you've been at the top of the sport for a very long time, you've been a coach for a very long time, coached a lot of riders to success, and I really want to draw on that wealth of knowledge today, and we want to talk about when could it actually be your saddle causing the problem. Now I think from my perspective this has definitely happened to me before. Sometimes you can feel like things aren't going quite right, things don't feel quite how they should, and as riders we can be quite critical of ourselves, and so it can be difficult to sometimes distinguish, is it my riding ability or is it the gear?
That's a really good question. And Han, as a coach, the first thing that I would look for is the alignment of the rider's body. So looking for that ear, shoulder, hip, heel line.
Yep.
And not just when they're sitting on the horse statically, when the horse starts to move, if they start really struggling to keep that alignment, very often the saddle is in imbalance.
So that's when we may need to look a little bit closer.
100%.
So do we want to go and grab one of your saddles and you can show us what a balanced saddle should look like?
Absolutely.
So now we're looking at a balanced saddle. So do you want to explain a little bit about really what that looks like and how that feels?
Okay, so for me, the biggest thing about a balanced saddle is that you actually don't feel it.
Yeah.
So they're so comfortable and they don't get in your way, so you're free to do the job of riding.
It's working with you, not against you.
100%. There's a couple of things. So when I'm in particularly a jumping saddle, I have to get into 2 points. So I want to be able to stand and stay here super balanced. And if the saddle isn't aligned properly, then I can't do it, and I feel like I'm spending more energy on trying to stay in that position and gripping rather than just sitting.
So another warning sign, if you're up in 2 point and it's struggle town, then could be a good sign that maybe you are a little bit unbalanced and the saddle needs to be looked at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're looking at something that is not so balanced. So do you want to describe kind of what you're feeling and seeing right now?
Okay, so this saddle is too low behind, too high in front, and the middle of the saddle where I'm sitting has shifted backwards. So I feel like I'm in an armchair, and that has made my foot sit forward. If he's static, that's okay, I can kind of sit here, but then if I want to move, so I want to go in that 2 point, I kind of almost have to throw myself forward.
Yep.
And where my leg was, it wants to go underneath me to support me, but then when I sit back, actually makes me sit heavily.
Yes.
And then I feel like I kind of fold at the hip. So it's actually almost a real struggle to push yourself out of the saddle and very easy to fall backwards.
Yes, and I imagine after a bit of time sitting in the saddle, you're probably going to be a bit sore.
Absolutely, like you end up gripping rather than going with the horse, and I just keep thinking that I'm putting way too much weight too heavily on the back of the saddle, on the horse's back.
That's the other thing as well, isn't it? Like, got to think of the horse's comfort, and that is not going to be an ideal situation.
No, not at all.
So, is there a quick fix?
There is. So these type of fittings are available to help you to balance your saddle. So here I've got a front one and a rear one, and I can show you how to fit those in. And they're a good temporary solution. They're not the perfect solution, but they certainly will help you out more quickly if you can't get a fitter out straight away.
So in this case, with this specific saddle, I'm guessing we want to lift up the back.
We do, absolutely.
Now we've got the riser on. I think we're looking a little bit better.
And I'm sitting effortlessly, so I've just sat in the saddle, put my feet in the stirrups, and this is exactly how my leg has sat. And I can stand up and I feel like I can stay here all day. I sit back down and I'm sort of more in the centre of the saddle, not being pushed to the back, and it actually just feels really effortless.
Perfect, that is exactly what we want. So now we're looking at another saddle that, even to the untrained eye of myself, doesn't look like it's super balanced. The pommel looks very low. Mr. Vendy's wither there. How are you feeling in this saddle?
Not particularly secure, Han. So when this saddle it's higher behind at the cantle and lower at the pommel, the lowest part of the saddle becomes more forward. And to be honest, it kind of makes me feel like to actually be in grip with the saddle, I'm going to turn my knees in, and that makes my leg come off. So when you stand up, it literally tips me out the front door. So my lower leg is too far back. And then, I basically think I'm just going to slide straight down his neck. So really insecure.
Not the ideal feeling when you're galloping towards a cross-country fence.
No, it's not. No, I feel like I would want to be scrambling backwards, pushing myself out from sliding out the front door.
100%.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah.
And if I was sitting in a dressage saddle that had sort of a similar balance issue, would it feel the same sort of way? Would I be having the same issues?
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes what they'll do is they'll tilt your pelvis and you end up sort of riding with a really arched back, and that can give you a sore lower back and also just basically make you sit on the wrong part of the saddle, which is really uncomfortable, basically.
That doesn't sound good.
It's not good.
Now, I think we learned before that there is a bit of a quick fix that we can do if we're having this issue. So I'm going to go and grab a special little piece of equipment and be right back.
Great.
All right, we're looking a lot better now. We have popped a front riser in, and how are you feeling?
So much better, Han. Like, my alignment is easily back, so my lower leg is sitting exactly where it should be, and then when I go to stand up into 2-point, it's really effortless to balance there. So it certainly makes me feel like I'm sitting in a saddle that makes it easy to do my job.
Which is exactly what we want. And obviously, like we said, this is a quick fix, so if you think your saddle at home is maybe sitting a bit unbalanced like this one, I'll be getting the saddle fitter out.
Absolutely.
So if you guys do want to learn more about all things saddles, then make sure to follow the FEI YouTube channel, because we do have a bit of a series coming your way. And if you guys have any questions around today's topic or anything you would really like us to cover, then put it down in the comment section below. Thank you for having us today, Amanda.
Oh, thanks, Han. It's been great.